Are we live? Welcome to another rendition of Too Early for This podcast episode, I believe, episode 36. How y'all living? I'm living swell. It's your boy, your host, your moderator. I'm Krista Don One. Feel free, please feel free to hit the subscription button, hit the like button, share this podcast, share this YouTube channel in the YouTube algorithm to your friends, family, and followers. You can also become a member of this YouTube channel. I have different membership packages. So just look at the membership packages, see what you like. And besides, it's free. Well, other than the membership. The membership costs something a month. It's not a lot of money, but it's money. All right. But feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell, share it with your friends, family, and followers. Wow, this is going to be a sports edition. Too early for this podcast, which, by the way, you guys know, the day ones know that generally my Too Early for This podcast really premieres early in the morning. We're burning the midnight oil to get Too Early for This podcast lit in the YouTube algorithm. Normally I upload these things around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know where it is in your part of town, but it's 11:20 where I reside. I will say I did start this a tad late. I said a tad late. So much for being on time. All right. That record has now been we have to redo that all over again. But let's get into it. All right. We got 3 topics in the sports edition of Too Early for This podcast. Is Shannon Sharpe a simp? We're going to dive into the latest concerning Shannon Sharpe. We're also going to talk about Ime Udoka. For those who've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. This brother once dated Nina Long with the cherry thong. Woo! How he let that slip away? Well, he was out here cheating in these dating streets, all right? But we're gonna be talking about him. He lost his job with the Boston Celtics because allegedly, he not only he cheated on Nina Long, but he cheated with someone who was already married. There's a possibility this brother may return in the NBA. We're gonna dive in a little bit like that into that, and we're also going to be diving into some Andrew Wiggins update concerning Andrew Wiggins. If you don't, or if you're not familiar, let's get you familiar. Andrew Wiggins took some personal time off, allegedly, because his girlfriend, I believe it's his girlfriend, they may be married. I don't know their relationship status, but allegedly, his girl was cheating on him, and allegedly, one, maybe possibly both of their children may not be his. Allegedly, she was cheating on Andrew Wiggins with his best friend. Oh man, it's getting spooky out here. All right, the dating scene is definitely getting spooky. But first and foremost, let's dive into Shannon Sharpe. So real fast, real quick. I don't know where this audio comes from, but when I listen to the audio, it sounds like this came from Shannon Sharpe talking on Undisputed, because I could have sworn there was a second male in the background, sounded like Skip Bayless. And it looks like he was doing a deep dive into one of his stories. Normally on Undisputed, Shannon Sharpe be having a lot of side notes, all right, particularly when they're talking about sports. He'll dive into when he was an athlete. He'll dive into what his grandmama used to what his grandmama used to tell him when he was little. Some of the analogies are very entertaining. Well, let's just be fair. All of them are very entertaining. All of them can be very informational. And all of them, you be saying to yourself, okay, how did we get here? All right. We were talking about this. Now all of a sudden we're into that. Okay. Shannon Sharpe normally do detours on a constant, consistent basis when he is debating Skip Bayless. And the number one thing Shannon Sharpe really goes left on when he's venturing outside of the conversation is his relationships, his relationship stories. All right, hold on one second. His relationship stories. All right. And he talks about a time when he was out here, dating different women. He doesn't call out anybody by name, but basically he be talking about, okay, when he was dating said individual, this, that, and the third, or his teammates and their relationship info or their relationship history with dating someone else. Anywho, all right. So Shannon Sharpe, if you listen to the clip, I don't know. And sometimes Shannon Sharpe, when he ventures left outside of the conversation, you can't make heads or tails of it. You don't know if it's true, if it's false, if he's telling a story that he heard from another source, like maybe one of his ex-teammates. I don't know. All right. But he talked about how in this audio clip, and it's making its rounds around social media. A lot of people are talking about it, particularly on YouTube. He talked about how when basically he was dating this girl, and this girl was going through the process of a divorce from her husband. And Shannon Sharpe was quite fond of this woman, so much fond of her, he was willing to pay for her divorce. And he basically, said in retrospect, he basically said, look, it's not that much money. If it only costs that much and it, speeds up the process, and obviously you don't want to be with him no more. Obviously he doesn't want to be with her no more, or he was utilizing this divorce as a tool to possibly get back with this female. I don't know. He didn't go into full details of why they were divorced. Maybe because he cheated on her, or maybe she's cheating on him, because obviously Shannon Sharpe is still was still trying to date this lady, but this lady was still was still trying to get situated, and was in a divorce situation with her ex-husband. Well, Shannon Sharpe says he was willing to pay for the divorce because, in his words, it wasn't that much. It was just a little change. There's no big deal, making it a big deal thing. He had his little baller status alert, basically saying, "I made so much money. If it only costs that much, okay, cool. I'll pay for it. Just to speed this process along." But I don't know if the lady was unable to find a lawyer, or was unable to, normally when in divorce situations. And in divorce situations, I don't, like I said, I've never been through a divorce, but, listening to a lot of people that has been through a lot of divorces, the process could be slow and it's very expensive. It's on somebody's dime, it's on somebody's watch. All right. But Shannon Sharpe basically said that, look, to speed this along, I'm willing to pay for your divorce. And a lot of people are commenting on it. A lot of social media influencers, a lot of podcasters, a lot of YouTube content creators, just content creators in general has jumped on this story. Now, I did tell you guys, Shannon Sharpe is known to venture. I don't know how we got there, and it sounded like this was an episode of Undisputed. I didn't see no audio to this. I just heard. I mean, I didn't see no visuals of this. All I heard was the audio of this, and it's making Shannon Sharpe look a kind of way. Everyone's calling him a simp. Okay, now if you don't know what simp is, the definition, the vanilla basic version of a simp is an individual, mostly a male, uh, that uh, gets the attention of a woman by financially. All right, this woman may not been interested in this guy uh, any other way. This guy, this guy gets the women's attention by his wealth. Now, there's also like different degrees of simping. Some people, I've heard some people say, guys that are weak in the relationship and allow his significant other, his female, to get away with a lot of stuff, do a lot of stuff, maybe a step outside of the relationship, and he's okay with it. There's different degrees of simping, different levels of simping. That's what I have heard of but basically that's the vanilla term of simping. And this Shannon Sharpe story, this audio, a lot of people say, is Shannon Sharpe a simp? Is this simp behavior? Now, after listening to the audio, you know, first and foremost, a lot of people that are commenting about this audio of what Shannon Sharpe said on Undisputed, or maybe Club Shay Shay, a lot of people say that this audio came from Club Shay Shay in one of his one-on-one interviews. I'm not familiar with it. I really don't watch Club Shay Shay, that deeply. I don't even listen. I mean, even though I'm subscribed to Club Shay Shay as a podcast, I really don't watch. I don't really listen or watch a full episode of it. Now, I'll watch a clip here and there. It might be something interesting. Last week he had this guy that was in the drug business. I thought that was kind of interesting. He had Candy from Escape, from the reality world of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. He was interviewing her. Um, I really don't watch or listen to Club Shay Shay that deep, but if there's a clip and it looks, if it looks, acquisitive, I may, listen to it or watch it or whatever. But I'm not that deep into Club Shay Shay. Now I do watch Shannon Sharpe regularly on Undisputed, and for those who are not familiar with Shannon Sharpe, Shannon Sharpe, even he tells a lot of stories, and sometimes you got to not throw caution in the wind when Shannon Sharpe is telling these stories. You know, you can't make heads or tail if this is authentic, if this is real, or if this is something made up, or if this is something that one of his teammates told him or one of his friends told him. You really don't know. Really don't know. But Shannon Sharpe did say this in an audio clip. So going in addressing this subject, you don't even know if this is real or not. All right, this is something maybe Shannon Sharpe could be flexing. He may be making this up. I don't know, but Shannon Sharpe didn't go into details who he was talking about. At one time, Shannon Sharpe dated Eddie Murphy's ex, Nicole Murphy. Now, Eddie Murphy is loaded. All right. So I know it has nothing to do with Eddie Murphy. And plus, when he was dating Nicole, well, allegedly he was dating Nicole Murphy. Um, you know, Nicole Murphy was already divorced away from Eddie Murphy. She did date and I believe married um I forgot his name. I see his face. He's on Good Morning America. He also does commentary for the NFL pregame show on Fox. Got the guys. I can visualize this guy. He's got a huge gap in the middle of his in his teeth region. Damn, I forgot that guy's name. Anyway, he once dated Nicole Murphy. I think was in a serious relationship. I don't think they got married, but they probably did get married. And it didn't end it the way it didn't end it good, and it cost him a lot of money. But time heals all wounds, and he moved on. I forgot this. I can see the guy's face, but I can't put a name on him. Okay, I can't certify him right now. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. He's not really part of this story. But Shannon Sharpe was, allegedly supposed to have been dating Nicole Murphy. And if anybody knows Nicole Murphy, she's definitely a gold digger. Uh, but anyway, so we don't know if this story is true. But after talking about this, I would say this. All right. Uh, let's just say hypothetically this was true, this was legit, this was true. We may not know the actual woman, but let's just dive into it. A lot of people are saying, well, Shannon Sharpe is a simp. A lot of people are throwing the question in the air, is Shannon Sharpe a simp? And if this was allegedly true, um we don't know the rest of the story. I mean, we don't know. I don't know if this is, I don't know if you could. To me, how long he's been dating this girl? I mean, this woman. I mean, how long they had an interest with each other? I feel like that we should know about that. We should also know who this woman was. If this was a wealthy woman, and she was in talks of divorcing her ex-husband, um, that that technically she could pay for her own divorce, or he may just was beating his chest and just flexing on the lady, saying, "Look, I'm I love you so much, or you're so interesting to me. I'm willing to pay for your divorce to hurry up and get this over with." I don't know if this would have went any faster. The proceedings would have went fast if it was a money issue, whatever. When you talk about their status, their wealth status, something that's expensive to us maybe not be expensive to them. All right. And if we could use an example, like if you're dating someone and let's just say y'all went out to eat and their credit card declined, well, just, let's just, okay, rewind a little bit. Let's just say like you took some woman out to eat, and, they try to pay for their meal, their credit card decline, or they just say, we'll just say hypothetically they left their wallet at home. That's a wink, wink right there. And you was willing to pay for their dinner, even though y'all don't have, y'all not in no relationship. That's just your friend. She just happens to be a female, or just a friend in general, a male in general. Does that really make you a simp? Because you was willing to pay for someone's meal because either their credit card declined, they left their wallet, they forgot their card, they forgot their money, whatever. Does that really make you a simp? To me, I say no. But let's just spin it a little bit. Like, what if they were in a relationship and they went on a casual date, and she was willing to pay for the meal for both of their meals, and she, lost her card or credit card, got declined, whatever. Does it make you a simp that, what, I got this, I'll pay for the meal? Because I look at this in relationships. I have seen a lot of people, and I have been there, done that myself, where, but you're in a relationship and she bought something, and she bought something, and there was a moment where you're trying to show your appreciation to your significant other, or maybe she didn't have enough to cover what she wanted to buy. Maybe you'll come in swooping in and pay for whatever they wanted. Does that really make you a simp at the end of the day? I feel like in a relationship type of situation, I don't think that necessarily makes you a simp, particularly if y'all are in a relationship. If does it make her a simp if she buys something for you? Does it make her a simp if she pays for the meal when you was willing to pay for the meal? If she just tells you put your card down and she pays for the meal, does that make her a simp? No. So it shouldn't make the male a simp if you know he's paying something that, like, they went into the shopping mall and she wanted to buy something, and he swoops in and say, no, I got this. That don't necessarily make you a simp. Now, on a larger scale, a divorce. Now, you're willing to pay for a woman's divorce. She's already divorcing her significant other. And, I don't know how the conversation started. Maybe she didn't have the money to continue having a divorce with this man. Maybe she was thinking other options, like maybe sticking around because the divorce was too expensive, or you know, whatever. Maybe she wanted a divorce and he didn't necessarily wanted the divorce, and maybe he was using the divorce as a bargaining chip to possibly win her back. I don't know. He didn't go into full details about it. But, Shannon Sharpe willing to pay for someone who he was interested in a divorce. I feel like that's kind of weird. All right. I feel like, that could be definitely described as some simp activity. But if you've been hearing a lot of stories about Shannon Sharpe, Shannon Sharpe is not the most encouraging person about, throwing his money around. Shannon Sharpe, he's kind of tight with his money. If you believe in the stories that are told about Shannon Sharpe, he's real tight with his money. All right. And I just don't feel like that story necessarily fits Shannon Sharpe. So maybe Shannon Sharpe was, let's just say, basically Shannon Sharpe. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. I thought I was going to sneeze, but I don't know if it's true or not. Okay, but I will say, if it is true, is it simp activities? It's borderline. Hold on. Don't you hate trying to catch a sneeze? It's like right there on the tip of your nostrils, and when you're preparing for the sneeze don't come So in essence, you're trying to catch the sneeze. So that's what I'm going through right now. It's allergy season. Your boy, I can't wait till this month's over with, so I don't have to deal with the allergy season. When I think next month it'll die down a little. Too much pollen in the air, too much dogwood. That is just too much of all this stuff. But anyway, I don't consider after Shannon Sharpe telling this story, you will have to. There's layers to this. You will have to figure out who the person he was talking about, how serious they were in the relationship, and how was this woman in her previous relationship. You also have to. There's a whole bunch of need to know stuff, like are they getting divorced because her hubby caught her cheating with Shannon Sharpe? I don't know. All right. So it's a lot of tentacles in this story that I wish we had answers for. But it does sound like simp behavior. But I don't know. There's not a lot of details to it. All right. But it is what it is. All right. So it sounds like simp activity. It's just we don't have enough information in front of us to determine whether or not. But it just doesn't sound. I mean, if you listen to a lot of stories about Shannon Sharpe, it just doesn't fit the MO of Shannon Sharpe. All right. So moving on, we're gonna move away from Shannon Sharpe, and we're gonna be talking about Ime Udoka. All right. So Ime Udoka was once a hot candidate. He took the Boston Celtics to the NBA Finals, and they played against the Golden State Warriors. Wasn't their best moment because I felt like the Boston Celtics had more younger, talented players, more younger, proven, talented players than the Golden State Warriors. Basically, the Golden State Warriors had Steph, Clay, Draymond Green, but they're sort of kind of past their prime. Draymond Green was at that particular time outside his prime. He was a liability on offense when he was in his prime. Now he's leaning towards outside his prime. Other than him being an enforcer, a smack talker, that's all Draymond Green brings to the table. Now he's still a above average defender that works well on a team that is not necessarily known for their defense. Particularly these past 3 years. Klay Thompson is trying to get his groove back, trying to get his drive back, because of his numerous injuries. Klay Thompson is pretty much on the back part of his outside his prime. He's not totally outside his prime. He does have moments, like particularly in a playoff series, he may have one great playoff game that puts a W in the win column for Golden State, but you can't really necessarily depend on Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson was a great two-way player until he started collecting a lot of numerous injuries. And Steph Curry is Steph Curry. He's magic with the ball, shooting the ball. But Steph Curry would and I feel like Steph Curry is still in his prime. But when he was younger, we appreciated Steph Curry because he was a great shooter, a great volume shooter, but not necessarily the best defender. All right. But, those three are not the same big three like they were when they were winning their titles. They still contribute to the Golden State Warriors, but not on a larger level. So they have to depend on the others. And they got a lot of help from their younger core. They got a Poole that helped. They got Kuminga that helped. And they also got Andrew Wiggins, because Andrew Wiggins was defending the best player on the Boston Celtics, Tatum. Something he'll D up Tatum, and he'll sometimes D up Jaylen Brown. And clearly he was a big reason why they won the title. All right, but Ime Udoka tried, but a lot of people assume, including myself, when they lost in the NBA Finals, they're going to run this back and they're going to represent the East in the NBA Finals next year under the coaching of Ime Udoka. And there was this story was sort of leaking out during the finals, but nobody wasn't really paying attention to this story. Not even me. And you start hearing snippets of this story that he was cheating on Nina Long. When he was cheating on Nia Long. No one knew who he was cheating with. And Nia Long wasn't really commenting about it. Ime Udoka wasn't even commenting about it, but you kept hearing rumors and stories of the possibility of Ime Udoka cheating on Nia Long. When that NBA Finals was over with, that's when the stories started having tentacles to it. It started gaining legs and popularity, where Ime Udoka did indeed cheated on Nia Long, and what made it worse was he was cheating on Nia Long with someone who works for the Boston Celtics. And the Boston Celtics investigated, the NBA investigated, and come to find out, a lot of the stuff started jumping in everybody's lap. Not only he cheated on Nia Long, but he cheated with someone who worked in the Boston Celtics organization. Come to find out, he cheated with one of the, I think it was one of the guys, I think the vice president at the time. He was deep in the organization, and that led to a big scandal, a big black eye for the Boston Celtics organization. And before we get into it, people on social media was typing, throwing up different staff members, who it could possibly be. They went for the most attractive black females, and they jeopardized a lot of women's situations with their relationship. There was one lady that was married, and they posted her picture. I mean, a lot of content creators on YouTube was running with this story, saying, "Oh, it has to be this woman. It has to be that woman." And these women had to release statements. It was very embarrassing. It was, there was a lot of these content creators was wrecking a lot of happy homes. Like, what if one of these women were, in their relationship wasn't that good, but they're trying to fight through their issues, trying to salvage their relationship. And then you hear this on social media that your wife or your girlfriend is allegedly being smashed by Ime Udoka, okay? And, that will put a very, dark bruise on that relationship, and possibly that would have just ended the relationship, all right? So a lot of these content creators on YouTube, on social media, people were vlogging, people were doing podcasts about it, saying, "Oh, it has to be this." They're doing live streams, doing 5-6 hour live streams. "Oh, it has to be this girl. It has to be this lady," leaking their pictures, leaking their photos, putting their names out there, putting their business out there. And for these women to have to, basically, do a rebuttal on these stories, saying, "Hey, look, I don't know who it is, but it wasn't me." All right. So that was a real dark time. And it just goes to show you how social media can be wrong too. All right. People were really cavalier about processing this information, and they just didn't wait for the information to marinate, or to wait for the information to get your I's dotted and your T's crossed to make sure that what you're saying is true. People just ran with it, okay? And I talked about it in the video, and I talked about it in the live stream. that was bad. All right. I felt like if there were victims in this story, obviously Nia Long and the children, but obviously these women that you're linking to Ime Udoka to maybe having a sexual relationship with, all because they are females that work for the Boston Celtics. I felt like, that was wrong. All right. And I never leaked any of these women. I didn't say that, I said that, that's why I'm slow to a lot of stories. I kind of wait for the other shoe to drop. And I think that's the best course of action, particularly if you're a content creator on social media. So that was one retrospect of it. And it comes to find out when it was all said and done, when the investigation was over with, and this really didn't drop until they were suspending Ime Udoka. He had a relationship with one of the wives that worked or used to work with the Boston Celtics, and this person that was married to this woman was a high-ranking individual. I believe he was the vice president of the Boston Celtics, and it really overshadowed a lot of things on the court that the Boston Celtics were doing, and it overshadowed the future of the Boston Celtics running it back and representing the East in the NBA Finals. And they had to suspend them. They got someone from the coaching staff to become the head coach. Then a lot of people were talking about, the Boston Celtics are going to be any good next year because they're not coached under Ime Udoka. And if you look at the NBA right now, the Boston Celtics are in they're definitely going into the playoffs, but are they going to be representing the East in the NBA Finals is a high possibility. The Brooklyn Nets, and that mess. They traded Kevin Durant, they traded Kyrie Irving, and they have a great team. Now, they can go to the playoffs. I don't think it won't be a long stint. They won't make a deep run. Well, they weren't making a deep run when they had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So it's par for the course. The Milwaukee Bucks is just now getting their groove back. The Philadelphia 76ers, they're doing some amazing things. The Miami Heat. So there's a lot of teams in the NBA East that the Boston Celtics are not the clear-cut favorite. All right, they're one of the favorites, but not the clear-cut favorite. All right, and Ime Udoka is depending on which side of the plexiglass mirror you are processing this information, he's no longer a coach of the Boston Celtics. All right, they pretty much fired Ime Udoka. Now there was a rumor out there that suggests that I still feel like he's suspended. I think he's suspended more so than fired. I think they're going to ultimately let him go, but they're holding on to him because, like it or not, love it or hate it, he's still a talented coach, and someone is willing to give the Boston Celtics a draft pick or maybe multiple draft picks to get Ime Udoka. And Ime Udoka ruined two great opportunities. He could have been an up and coming coach that was coaching a dynasty. And Ime Udoka ran through the Greg Popovich tree. He was an assistant coach. He was an assistant coach in different spots. The Boston Celtics believed in him, let him become the head coach. He was doing extraordinary things with the Boston Celtics, with Tatum and Brown. He was, there in large part of their development, of their chemistry with one another. He was doing extraordinary things with the Boston Celtics, and he blew that opportunity. Another opportunity he blew is being arm to arm with Nia Long. Nia Long with the cherry thumb. Holy, how can you mess up that opportunity? All right. Somehow, some way, Ime Udoka ruined. I mean, the sky was the limit for him. He had two great opportunities and he squandered both of those opportunities. Nia Long doesn't want to have anything to do with him. She obviously has moved on. Um, the Boston Celtics don't want to have nothing to do with them. They're going to still hold on. They're going to hold on to him. He's not, fired. They're not going to let him go. And he just, because obviously Ime Udoka is extremely talented. He's is a commodity for a struggling team. And there's an article that's out that suggests that Ime Udoka could be traded to the Houston Rockets in the offseason. Now, I read this article, and before I get into run through the article real quick, there were rumors out there that suggested that the only spot that the only organization that was thinking about, and they was kicking the tires around Ime Udoka coaching this season, was the Brooklyn Nets after they fired Steve Nash, and they were looking for some coaches. Luckily, they stuck with Jacques Vaughn. I think he's doing a great job with the Brooklyn Nets. But there was a possibility of them, offering a pick or multiple picks to Boston to get Ime Udoka. That was a rumor. It wasn't really established, but you haven't heard Ime Udoka's name as far as being a candidate or coaching another team. And it comes off the impression of maybe they were blackballing Ime Udoka out of the league, similar to what they did to Mark Jackson. And I'm trying to think of the guy that Derek. His name ain't Derek Jackson. Derek Fisher, when he was on the coaching staff of the Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks. And he was allegedly fooling around with, oh my God, that light skinned dude. I got his face, but I can't put his name. He's in the Up and Smoke podcast. Why do I want to say Baron Davis? His name is not Baron Davis. He'll come to me. Anyway, you guys know I butcher names, okay? But he was fooling around with his baby mama. This guy took a 6-hour road trip, and allegedly was got into an altercation with Derek Fisher, and Derek Fisher didn't even win that altercation, but he won the heart of one of his baby mamas, and they are now together. And at that time, Derek Fisher was married to another woman. And at that time, they used to be friends. Him and this player, the player and his girlfriend and wife would, have play dates. And he would have his girlfriend, his wife, or his girlfriend, and and that whole time he had thoughts in his head of smashing this man's baby mama. That whole time, all right. And that's why I think that really angered him. And when that got out, Derek Fisher got blackballed from the NBA. Derek Fisher, he didn't do a great job with the New York Knicks, but he never gotten that second opportunity to show why he's a proven coach in the NBA. He didn't get the opportunity. It was so bad for Derek Fisher, he had to become a coach in the WNBA. And then allegedly some stuff came out that he was messing around with the players in the WNBA, and that got him up out of the WNBA. I don't know what Derek Fisher is doing. I think he does commentary for media, not ESPN, but the one that does the media coverage for the Los Angeles Lakers. I think he does that. I don't think he's working with inside the NBA, but nobody is coming or calling for Derek Fisher because when he got his opportunity, he sort of squandered it, and B, he's a liability. You know, he's very toxic, and a lot of these, believe it or not, folks, a lot of these owners have standards, and a lot of these, I don't know if it's standards or fear, whatever you want to label it. A lot of these owners collude with one another, and a lot of these owners communicate with one another, and they know the whole story about a certain individual. And if this certain individual hasn't proven to be a commodity as a coach, or working in the organization, or trying to play for a team, if he's got a lot of bad luggage, a lot of these owners are not going to touch you with a 10-foot pole. Now, Ime Udoka proven that he could take an NBA to the promised land, that he could take a team to the NBA finals. Ime Udoka has proven that he came from the Greg Popovich tree, and he's one of these success stories of Greg Popovich, coaching tree, which, doesn't have a lot of successful stories like Ime Udoka. So he's got the longevity. He's shown that he can take a team to the NBA finals, and he's got a lot of people endorsing him as a coach, and that's Greg Popovich. And this can't be proven, but it was almost like the owners are blackballing Ime Udoka, or blackballing him enough to have a lengthy extension. And when the talk was the possibility of him going to Brooklyn, when that rumor was going around, not a lot of people were co-signing to this rumor. The Damon McMinimums and the Woj. You didn't hear no Woj bombs or anything like that. The high-profile NBA insiders wasn't talking too deep about it. And a lot of these insiders communicate with the owners. And I think that the owners were colluding, saying, hey, look, he's not coming back in. He's not coming to the NBA that fast, because that will be considered a reward, what he did to the Boston Celtics, to that VP. And he would have gotten away with it too soon. And we're just going to let him, we're going to let him just soak and marinate. So you didn't really hear anything Ime Udoka related to as possible as him becoming a head coach or even an assistant coach. But now you're hearing this rumor, and I feel like this rumor has some strength to it. I feel like it has legs to it. Hold on one second. And I read the article. I was trying to pull up the article, but I read the article, and basically this article is implying that Ime Udoka may land as the head coach of the Houston Rockets. And in this article, they're basically describing that Ime Udoka, the Boston Celtics, and the Houston Rockets have been talking about a possibility of getting Ime Udoka. I don't know how they're going to get Ime Udoka, if they're going to give up some draft, a draft pick, or some assets to land Ime Udoka. I don't know if the Boston Celtics told the Houston Rockets that we're going to let Ime Udoka go at the end of the season, and they may try to sign him at that point. I don't know how this is going to work, but the possibility of Ime Udoka going to the Houston Rockets is a real big thing, because they just fired their head coach a couple of nights ago, and they're one of several teams that in the offseason they're going to be looking for a head coach. And I feel like, Ime Udoka has ties with the Houston Rockets organization, a lot of personnel in the Houston Rockets organization, maybe on the sidelines. And Ime Udoka landing back on his feet career-wise, coming back to the NBA. I feel like he's been punished enough. He done lost everything. He lost a prominent head coaching gig with the Boston Celtics of coaching Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, that tandem, and also being in a real serious relationship with Nia Long. He ruined that relationship. So I felt like, look, he's been almost out of the league for like 2 years. He's a pretty solid coach. And it's not like he's going from one super team to another super team. And if we look at the landscape, the Golden State Warriors are not going to get rid of Steve Kerr. The Los Angeles Lakers are not getting rid of Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham is doing some extraordinary things with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was doing extraordinary things with the Los Angeles Lakers when they didn't have this much talent. The Clippers are not getting rid of Tyronn Lue. So, the teams that have talent or have super teams, they're not getting rid of their coach. Maybe the Phoenix Suns, if they bounce out real fast out of the playoffs, which I don't see that happening. They got this Chris Paul. They just traded for Kevin Durant. And they got other players. I just don't see that coach going anywhere. But that's a maybe, but it's not a real big yes. It's a maybe right now. And if we look out east, the Milwaukee Bucks are not getting rid of their coach. The Miami Heat's definitely not getting rid of their coach. The New York Knicks are not giving up on their coach. He's not going to the Brooklyn Nets. Why would he go to the Brooklyn Nets? Because, they got rid of their 2 best players. He's definitely not going to Boston. So, him landing with the Houston Rockets is eerie similar to when he got the job with the Boston Celtics. I feel like the Houston Rockets have some talent that could be similar to, like, I'm not saying they're going to be like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, but they do have talent on their roster that's eerie similar to those 2 players. And a lot of people don't give Ime Udoka his flowers. I think he's a great motivator, particularly on the defensive end. And I feel like the younger players identify with him more before this scandal. And, of course, after the scandal, if they just keep it on the court, Ime Udoka has the ears to the youth. And I feel like if he does get an opportunity and go to the Houston Rockets, that's a major piece for them to get very serious next year. They got the talent. If they get Ime Udoka, they'll have their coach. Now they just need an opportunity to show the world what they have. So, congratulations. I'm giving him an early congratulations. Ime Udoka landing back on his feet, possibly going to the Houston Rockets. Now, if he doesn't go to the Houston Rockets, he's going to be out of the league yet again. And if I was Ime Udoka, the quicker you get a job, the better for you. Because if he's out of the league next year, and let's just say hypothetically, he's out for the whole entire year, people are going to forget about him. And these younger candidates that are on the sideline, these assistants and things of that nature, they're going to get their opportunity to show a team what they're capable of doing, similar to like Ime Udoka. So if he doesn't land on his feet and get a job real fast and real quick, he's going to be forgotten, okay? And then he will have to reestablish himself. And he probably have to go back into college. I don't think he's going to high school, but he'll probably have to coach on a high school level and work his way back up. Like, all the good work as a head coach will be thrown to the wayside. Okay, he'll have to reproven himself. So I hope this story is actually true, and maybe in the offseason, the Houston Rockets hire him. Hope that is true. But I'm just going to give him a congratulations if he gets the job. And I think he's going to do extraordinary things with the Houston Rockets. All right. But that's all we got on Ime Udoka. And I also, too, I hope Ime Udoka understand the errors of his way, understand that he blew some great situations, some great opportunities. I mean, to be arm to arm with Nia Long, making that serious, and him being a coach of the Boston Celtics, I don't think it's squandered. I think he squandered his time with Boston because he was doing extraordinary things with Boston, and it didn't uh, dilute uh, Tatum and Brown. I feel like they have bounced back. They're definitely going to be in the playoffs, and they could be a contender to if they make it back to the NBA Finals with a different coach. This kind of tarnishes Ime Udoka a little bit to the point of, and I didn't even think about this until now, to the point of if they make it to the NBA Finals again without the services of Ime Udoka, this really tarnishes him a little bit because a lot of teams that are interested or maybe kicking the tire around Ime Udoka, and if it means that they have to give up a draft pick to get Ime Udoka, because Ime Udoka is still signed to the Boston Celtics, are the Boston Celtics going to be able to squeeze multiple draft picks or just one draft pick? Or maybe none or no draft picks. So, but anyway, that's another time for another day. I hope he gets the opportunity to coach again, and understand his errors of his ways. As far as him, when he gets back into the relationship scene, when he gets back to being serious with another woman, I hope he understands his and learn from his errors of his way. Okay, but moving on. Andrew Wiggins. Let's run into Andrew Wiggins. Who's been living under a rock. Allow your boy to explain. Andrew Wiggins is a player of the Golden State Warriors. He contributes very highly and help. He was one of the reasons, one of the important reasons why the Golden State Warriors won a title last year when they beat the Boston Celtics, because of what Andrew Wiggins contribute to the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors believed in him, signed him to a multi-year contract. He's one of the he's connected to this bright future they had with the players that they have drafted. Unfortunately, one of those players is been traded to the Detroit Pistons. But anyway, but Andrew Wiggins was a huge contributing factor of the Golden State Warriors, and by him being on the roster, the Golden State Warriors, that was one of the reasons why Golden State Warriors had a bright future of repeating. Now, doing great this year, by the way, Andrew Wiggins was doing fine until he took a leave of absence. The leave of absence was mysterious. People were trying to connect the dots, wondering why he's taking an absence. Come to find out, his girlfriend, wife, whoever, the mother of his children, was allegedly fooling around. We got to use the word allegedly, with one of his best friends. We still don't know to this day who this best friend is. Obviously, it's not someone with the Golden State Warriors, but it's someone that he's familiar with, and he's working out situations at home with his baby, the mother of his children. Now, he has not released any statements about this, but he's making his return to the Golden State Warriors very soon. but he hasn't commented on it. And the only person that has been commenting on this situation is the baby mama, and she basically, saying, denouncing this story, saying that it's a fabrication, it's not true. This story has gotten so deep. People are saying that uh, he's not the father of either, and this is allegedly, one of the children or both of the children. I mean, that's how the internet is, dropping this. And I didn't really talk about this portion of it because I wanted to wait for the other shoe to drop. Still, the other shoe hasn't dropped, other than the baby mama uh, releasing a statement, and also going to on social media saying that this is fabrication, this is untrue, this is not what's going down. Didn't go into details about their relationship. Is him and Andrew, is the baby mama Andrew Wiggins still trying to salvage this relationship? Is this the reason why he took the time off? We still don't know any of those situations. And the Golden State Warriors organization has been tight-lipped. His teammates has been tight-lipped. Andrew Wiggins has been tight-lipped, and they're trying to not let this story uh, overcome a lot of stuff. And it just, the talk of the town. People want to know more about this story than the Golden State Warriors. So I think the Golden State Warriors organization has handled this very exemplary. I feel like Andrew Wiggins has handled this a great. Even the baby mama, even though she went to social media and denounced all this, she's handling it very professional. Um, Basically tweeted out that, hey, the internet can be a sick place. And the internet can be a sick place, okay? People can say a lot of stuff about you that is not true, but a lie is more entertaining than the truth, unfortunately. People are more entertained by a lie than the actual truth. And, that's just the way the story goes um, in on social media. And no one knows without shadow of doubt, is this true? Is this not true? No one really knows. But I'm on the side of Andrew Wiggins' family, and the only person that's been talking about this situation, no one in Andrew Wiggins' family, no one in on her side of the family has talked about this. Only her, and they've been very private and candid about it. But she basically went to social media saying, "Hey, look, this is not true. Okay, this is not true. All right." So I'm going on the basis of what she's saying, and you're innocent until you're proven guilty. But on social media, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. And the court of public opinion is saying that this wild alleged story actually went down. And this story has gotten so popular. People are talking about the time when Steve Nash was in a situation like this as a player. I believe the player name was Jason Richardson. He was fooling around with his wife, and allegedly Steve Nash didn't know until the baby was born, and the baby didn't have the same color as Steve Nash. His wife is European. Steve Nash is European, or his wife may be white, Caucasian. I don't know. But when the baby was born, the obviously this baby was chocolate. All right. Steve Nash is not black. She doesn't have any black in her. Well, she had black in her when she was on her back, but that's neither here nor there. Come to find out that she cheated outside of Steve Nash, and Steve Nash, obviously got a divorce from this crazy woman. And Jason Richardson got traded away from the Phoenix Suns, and that was that. And at that time, nobody wasn't really egging this story on, wanting to know more about the story. it was it was a story, but it wasn't the story. And maybe because the social media was so young at that time, that's a possibility as well. But you have to go that far back of NBA players cheating with other NBA players' wives or girlfriends. And you can go even further back when Jason Kidd was a player, when he was with the Dallas Mavericks, and he got into it with a player, and I forgot the player's name. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot about it. But allegedly, Jason Kidd was messing with Tony Braxton, or was messing with Tony Braxton. At that time, Jason Kidd was married to a woman, and allegedly they got into it with the other player. I want to say Jason Jackson. I think his name is Jason Jackson. I got his face. I just don't know his name. Man, I've been messing up people's names. I do apologize, folks. Anyway, and that destroyed the dynamic of the team, because he was one of the star players, and that put a kibosh on them winning a title. And Jason Kidd relationship put a kibosh on that, to the point where he's divorced. At that time he divorced his wife. Allegedly, his ex-wife went into the locker room, grabbed his phone, must knew his passcode, and then she got the proof what she needed, and she divorced him. And Jason Kidd, that put a kibosh on the Dallas Mavericks winning a title, because it was him, Jackson. It's not Jason Jackson. I don't forgot. It's not Reggie Jackson. Is it Mark Jackson? I don't know. He's got Jackson on the end of it. And they had their own little big three, and they put a kibosh on their chances of getting a title. And Jason Kidd lost. He divorced from his wife. That was a little bad, particularly when they traded him to the then Brooklyn Nets. They were called the New Jersey Nets. And Jason Kidd didn't get a title until later in his career, when he got traded back to the Dallas Mavericks. He was way outside his prime, but he was one of the driving forces of the Dallas Mavericks beating the Miami Heat when the Heat had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. And it was just, on the Dallas side, it was Dirk and a cast of others. They had Sean Marion. That team, a lot of people don't give that. A lot of people sleep on that team, but that team was ultra talented, was versatile, had experience, and had players when they were in their prime, was running teams. People don't really go into full details of that Dallas Mavericks team. They beat the Miami Heat, and the Miami Heat put up a good fight, but it wasn't a great fight. And when the Miami Heat knew that the momentum shifted to the Dallas Mavericks, they pretty much given up on those last couple of games. At that time, LeBron James was young. He was still trying to find his way as far as becoming a leader. Talent-wise, athletically, he was gifted. Talent, he was gifted. He just didn't know how to apply it mentally as far as his leadership goes. And at that time, they couldn't figure out how to coexist on the same court. A lot of people make this as an excuse on why they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, because at that time, Dwayne Wade and LeBron James was doing like, okay, one night is your turn to dominate, the next night is my turn to dominate, that type of deal. And anyway, they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, and Jason Kidd got his one and only ring. And Jason Kidd has bounced around as a coach in the NBA, made several stops. He's now the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, and he's trying to do something with the Dallas Mavericks. But unfortunately, the Dallas Mavericks are going to be out of the playoffs, even though they had the 4th seed until they acquired Kyrie Irving. And there's a lot of published reports out there that suggest that maybe Luka Doncic is not happy. Maybe he wants out of the Dallas Mavericks. There's a lot of reports out there that's possibly Kyrie Irving is probably going to go into free agency, wants to play alongside LeBron James and go to the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know how that's going to work because they don't have the money to sign him to a max. So he's going to forego a lot of money with the Dallas Mavericks because Dallas Mavericks holds his rights, and they got him under the Bird contract where they can sign him to whatever type of money. Well, that's another time, another story. That's on another channel. All this conversation should be on Just My Opinion podcast. I haven't. We'll dive into that on that channel. All right, but yeah. So, I lost my train of thought. What the hell we were talking? Oh. Okay, so Andrew Wiggins. All right, I don't know. We left from the Andrew Wiggins topic. Well, I left the Andrew Wiggins topic. Went full left. I mean, I went so full left. Shannon Sharpe would say, "Damn, your ass went full left. We're not even talking about Andrew Wiggins no more." Okay, so let's get back to Andrew Wiggins. So yeah, he hasn't been talking about it, been kind of quiet. And other than what the baby mama releasing a statement and tweeting, that's the only type of communication that we have gotten. Obviously, they're trying to salvage this relationship. If you're on the outside of this, obviously you can see and you can read the tea leaves that they're trying to salvage this relationship, but we don't know what's going on. And I'm pretty sure after the season, they will have some clarity and they will explain what happened. But we can all assume that either she cheated on him or whatever. They had a fallout in the relationship. I don't know. But I said this on my Just My Opinion podcast, which that's mainly a sports channel. You have to understand Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is a private individual. He's not a public individual. He doesn't do social media like that, where he's letting you guys follow his private life. He likes to. He loves his private his life. He don't want his private life public. He's not one of those type of individuals. So hold on one second. So he's just not that guy. So that kind of puts a kibosh on trying to figure out what's going on between the two, because he's not a very public guy. He's more private. His baby mama, she does have an Instagram page, have a Twitter page. She's active. I've been chasing this sneeze to almost an hour and 13 minutes, and it finally came out. Hold on. Someone bless me in the comment section. All right. Bless you. But she's active, but she's not that active on social media. So, at the end of the day, I've been trying to chase this sneeze for the longest. I mean, I hate when the pollen is in the air. It's not good, particularly if allergies are ruining your life. But like I said, hopefully next month it's a lot less, and we'll just take it from there. So yeah, uh, other than Andrew Wiggins is very private. He don't go into full details about it, and Andrew Wiggins' wife is very private. I mean, not private. She's public, but she's not that public. She's not Lassa Pippen, where she's posting everything what she's doing in her life. But yeah, that's pretty much the situation with Andrew Wiggins. Unfortunately, there's no new news other than him returning on the court. It's still cloudy on why he left, why he took a sabbatical, why he took time off. And I don't think, when he does make his appearance on court, to court, he's not going to go into no full details about it. He's, like I said, he's a very private, personal individual. He's not extraordinary as far as he wanting you guys know what he does every single hour of every single minute. Okay, so that's that on Andrew Wiggins. It's an update, but it's not the big update a lot of people want to talk about. That's got their attention. So that's it on Andrew Wiggins. All right, so before we end today's podcast, I'd like to thank and appreciate the lurkers out there. The lurkers are the individuals that'll come in, they'll drop in, listen to a couple of minutes, drop out, then come back in, listen to a couple of minutes, then drop out. I really do appreciate the lurkers out there. Hey, look, the lurkers out there, if you're going to do that, please hit the like button and share this content with your friends, family, and followers. I like to also appreciate my day ones out there who've been subscribed to this channel ever since this channel was created. Believe it or not, there are still people that are my day ones out there that support me on everything I do, on every video I upload, on every live stream that I do, or even on posts and things of that nature. So I really do appreciate my day ones out there. I really do appreciate my new followers, my new subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys, my new viewers. I really do appreciate you guys coming to the channel. No matter how you got here, please make sure you hit the subscription button, the notification bell. If you're gonna do, please just do those two things for your boy. Holler at your boy, get at your boy. If you're gonna do anything, could you please hit the like button and the like button and the subscription button? That's all I ask. Now, if you want to take it to an extra extent, if you want to hit the notification bell, make sure it's on all, and share this content with your friends, family, and followers. If you want to do those two things as well. All four of those things are free, by the way. All right, it's free. Really doesn't take a lot of time in your day to do. All you gotta do is just hit the subscription button, like the content, and just keep it pushing, or dislike the content, however you want to do. Even though YouTube don't show the dislike button, and I always tell this for up and coming people on YouTube, and I had to learn this the hard way. You would always promote the viewership to hit the like button. Please hit the like button. You're trying to promote them hitting the like button. And there's some people out there that would just hit the dislike button. I'm not going to hit the like button. I'm going to hit the dislike button, either being childish or they just didn't like the content, whatever their excuse is. And this is proven factual that if you hit either the like or the dislike button, you're still encouraging the algorithm to put that video and to put that channel or to put that video in the rotation. It counts as a point. No matter if you hit the like or if you hit the dislike, it still promotes the video. And it's been proven, it's been documented. It's a lot of content creators on YouTube has said this. Even YouTube said this. So don't feel discouraged if someone says I hit the dislike button. or you see a bunch of dislikes. Don't be discouraged. Um, don't get amped up about it. It's still helping your channel, the growth and development of your channel, as well as your video, as well as your live stream. Okay, so don't be too discouraged on that. All right, but please do two of those things, one of those things, or all four of those things. It's free. It's easy. It's easy pleasy. That I can't explain no more about it. All right. I also like to give a shout out to the Dream. Normally I do this at the end of the video of my. I normally do this in the beginning of my live stream. And shout out to the Dream. She uploaded a live stream that premiered this weekend. I thought it was very informative. Um, like if you're interested in being a car model, uh, what's the advantages and the disadvantages of being a model in the car scene, things you need to look out for. I thought that was very informational. It was very extraordinary. Go check out The Dream and her channel. I think she uploaded another live stream or video since then, but that's the only one that I have watched thus far. I am kind of behind on my Dream content because last week your boy was mad busy. I had a lot of stuff I had to do outside of YouTube that was going to keep me off of YouTube. But I did get those tasks done, and at the tail end of that week, I began dropping videos on all three of my channels. So it didn't take me away too bad, but I thought it was going to really take me away. So, so give a shout out to the Dream. Tell her I sent you. Subscribe, at least subscribe and hit the like button for the Dream. Okay. If you can hit the notification bell also and share her content with your friends, family, and followers, that will be very extremely helpful to the Dream. If anybody is a small time channel and you're watching this live stream or watching the videos or whatever, please comment in the comment section. Comment in the comment section or share your link in the comment section. And, I'll go check out your channel. I have made a lot of good relationships with a lot of content creators on YouTube, similar to like The Dream. And I like to share the wealth. I'm that type of brother. I'm that type of guy that shares the wealth. Try to build a community with other small content creators. Look, it doesn't matter what you're talking about, whatever. I forgot the one girl that does the vlogs. I normally promoted her channel for a certain extent. But yeah, so please promote the small channels, because if there wasn't any small channels, there wouldn't be channels in general. Because a lot of big time content creators, they don't upload content every single day. They may upload once a week or once a month. But if it wasn't for the small content creators on YouTube, YouTube would be struggling. All right, it will definitely be struggling. So support your small time channels. All right, as well as your big time channels. Treat the small time channels the same way like you treat the big time channel. All right, just support them. That's all they want is your support. If you can just support them by watching their content. If you're subscribed to them, watch their content. All right. If you're not subscribed to them, watch their content and subscribe. YouTube has wrote an article that a big portion of a lot of people's viewership are people that are not subscribed to that channel. So just food for thought, just throwing some gems out here. But yeah, that's all I got for today's episode of Too Early for This podcast. Episode, I believe, 35 or 36. I'm not familiar. I do apologize. I will be back next Monday with another rendition of Too Early for This podcast. And we'll be talking about some great topics. Okay. But anywho, it's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. I will see you next Monday. Hopefully, it will be early Monday instead of late in the afternoon. But in the meantime and in between time, you do your thing and I do mine. I will see you guys on the next live podcast of Too Early for This podcast. I will have a video uploaded sometime this week on this channel or something that I saw on social media, and we'll react to it. We'll talk about it. I will see you guys later. It's your boy. Deuces.